This is just an end of year compilation video I put together for just selected clips from numerous videos from our trips. I thought I'd put it together for our end of year video. So this is from our trip up Shark Bay. This was separate from the normal trips we do with our Facebook group. This is a place called Herald Bight, which is off Cape Perrin. Not too bad to get to, and the beach here is really firm. The only bad section was just getting into it. It's a bit soft, but the rest of it's great. And this beach here is fantastic for catching whiting. It was amazing when I put the camera underneath, which will come up later. The amount of fish that we saw was fantastic. The marine life here was just on evidence. Stingrays were floating past. You could see them all the time. They were reasonably close to you when they did so as well. And yeah, it was just amazing that section. And also when it was coming in, the tide was out, and when it came in, it was just amazing what's going to come in. This video now is from a trip down towards Binnup and Buffalo Beach area. So this is closer to, I think, in Buffalo Beach area. I really actually enjoyed, I mean, the weather wasn't fantastic, but I actually really enjoyed the beach, and I thought it was a fantastic place to go for four-wheel driving. There's some sections in there that are fantastic for fishing. Unfortunately, the weather wasn't great for fishing, but it was great for a bit of four-wheel driving, and it has all these open areas that we had ability to use to, as a group, go around and try some stuff that perhaps you might not do otherwise. So having a crack at some of these little smaller ascents and then steeper ascents, we had a few different ones. These are just a select couple that I chucked in. So you can have options where you go up a shorter one, or you can do a big long ascent like where I'm facing right now. I back down and then I go straight up again. But it also gives you a chance to try out and work out the best way to go up a dune, what speed you need to do, and figure that sort of stuff out before, as part of while you're in a group where you got that assistance. This is some vision I've tried to change it up to make it a little bit more interesting for our content, is adding more vision of different angles. And this is our rear suspension. Unfortunately, I'd put it on an angle, so you've got to watch it sort of sideways, but hey, it's cool to be able to actually see your rear suspension and the work that it goes through just doing some of it, basically its work in the rear as you're going along the beach, how much it actually moves. I was a bit surprised really to see how much it actually helps, even though you're feeling a lot of the bumps sometimes, how much more it's actually being absorbed through the rear suspension. That was that hill that I took up all the way, so that was the whole one done at a very fast sped up pace, as in sped up video wise. But yeah, no, that's it was a fun little hill to go up, and you can see how high we're up when you look at the beach. That was a little part there where I thought about going over the edge, but that was a steep drop off, so I thought that was not a good idea. So yeah, you can see how high we're up now in comparison when you look at the beach from that view. And then you can also come down and work out angles when you come down a descent like that, to make sure that you come down at the right angle and you don't come down sideways and that sort of stuff. So it's a good place to be able to practice these sorts of things, especially when you have that opportunity. This one here, we've got another one of another angle where I wanted to show you how the front suspension goes. See, as we're turning there, a whole amount of sand gets flicked up into the camera face. But you can see the amount of work that it gets put through as well as you're going along. It does provide for some interesting camera work, and makes it hopefully a little bit more entertaining to watch when you see all the turning that it does, how much it digs into the sand, and how it all flies everywhere, and does make it kind of interesting. But that's from the same place. It's just some different angles as we were doing those things. This actually is from a trip we took to Willabinga. This drone footage. I think one of our members who had his drone out there to be able to record this, following the car along. Great scenery out there, fantastic viewing. I loved Willabinga, and I'll definitely be putting it back on the agenda to go back there and visit, because it is so nice. The beach is great. We did a little bit of fishing off the side around about where I am now, just off the edge of those rock sections there. It's nice to be able to do a little bit of fishing there, but the beach, you can tell or you might be able to tell from the footage, isn't that soft. It's quite firm through there, and it's a nice place to visit. Lots of tracks to explore. You can easily pretty much get lost, but the scenery is beautiful through there. You can see all the different tracks just running all through the back left hand side of that area. A lot of flat spots if you decide to camp out there as well. But I really enjoyed that aspect of it, and the fact that you can go on these little on these little tracks all over the place. The only issue is obviously you can get turned around a little bit, but it does also give you some options for forward driving when it comes to trying some journeys. But anyway, footage is back from the same event, the Buffalo Beach area. Just this is just a different angle to watching all the cars do coming down from the hill as we all collect up as a group before we move off again. So just watching them all come down from whichever angle they all chose to come down from, and then we all set up together before we head off to continue further down the beach. This one just a simple drive over vision. We set the camera up so we could just all drive across the camera and get an underneath view of the cars as they went through. So that was just providing something a little bit different to watch for our viewers. So hopefully that gives you something different to look at. The next one coming out is from our trip down to Ugra, which was fantastic. I thoroughly enjoyed that trip altogether. It was amazing. You get a lot of experience out of that whole journey. The amount of basically things that you encounter is significant. Like for example, this is the Warren River crossing, so you go along Willabinga Beach, which is usually pretty reasonable to drive on. The softest area is obviously the dunes, but then challenging the river crossing and making sure you do it properly, making sure, as you see, you've got someone out there to guide you through the area that we've predetermined is the right area to cross in. And this is a vision from the opposite side where you can see how deep it is where we cross, or where I cross. This is my car crossing now, and you can also see at the front when I come through that we pre-set up our system so that if something did happen, we're ready to be helped or recovered as a result of that. So it's better to be prepared before you go through than trying to do it once you're in there. So that's us going through, but also it's a good experience, but it's done better if you've got some assistance and support there and you're doing it the right way. This one's another water crossing from that same trip, but this is further out. We're heading towards Jasper Beach at the moment, trying to find our camping spot. This is one of the roads where it's quite flooded out in a lot of sections, and as you can see here, this quite muddy sort of river crossing, and quite a long one, but we both set up on both ends for any sort of recovery. And the most important thing was to do it very slowly, and even in this sped up version, and when you see from outside, you can see here how little the water is moving around the wheels, even though it is sped up. I'm just idling through this, and it's just crawling very slowly, so you don't sink or crack the surface. And you can see how deep it goes because my side steps disappear altogether as I go through the deeper section of that and come out the other side. But as long as you're doing it all safely and correctly, then you should be. It's a great experience, and helps you learn the how to get across these sort of things in a safe manner. This is Jasper Beach. I love this beach. Unfortunately, this video doesn't do it justice at the moment. You have such a wide open area, but more so just the structure of this beach. It's amazing as far as the gutters and troughs that are so easy to spot. I haven't come across a beach that is that easily identifiable for those sorts of things. So I thought that made it unique for that you could just simply drive along until you found those, and then park up to fish for those ones, and the fact that it was such a nice beach to drive on. This angle is just from the same area down in Willabinga. Sorry, not Willabinga, Yeagerup, same area. But this is coming off one of the softer beach areas, and I'm coming off the softer beaches to tackle Calcutt Hill, which is a really huge achievement to do if you go down there. A crazy hill to do, and great forward driving thing to achieve. And this is just to show you I'm coming up and then I'm doing a left hand turn. You can see as I start to do this left hand turn how much sand starts flicking out to the left, and then how much my front wheel digs in, end up having to reverse it and gather more speed and try again after that. So it's just a different angle of view. Now unfortunately for this one, the video cut out at the wrong time. Ran out of memory and he missed the first one, so you got me going out of the bog, but actually went through that one the first time, no dramas. This is that little vision I was talking about underwater, so you can see one of the fish going through there, and then you see this little reef shark moving through, and then another bigger fish moving through the back. But there was so much whiting that we're running past this camera all the time, and I was literally standing a few meters behind this camera the entire time I was out there. Here you go. There were a lot more than that moving through. I just cut out the section and tried to include some of the bigger ones, but there was so much marine life there, it was just nuts. The next one up is from back up still at that Shark Bay area. So this Steep Point, this is just us driving right at the very end to Steep Point itself. So that's the most westerly point, and you'll just see that sign there where you know that you're actually at that point. So I park right in front of it. So out of that side to the right hand side is a place called the Oven, and that's where you go if you want to go and catch looking for big game fishing off the side of the cliffs. There's campsites there to book for that sort of thing, so make sure if that's what you want to do, you go book a campsite and do that. This is down at Preston Beach, so Preston White Hills Beach, love those two, they're great near Mandurah for forward driving. For this one, my wife's actually driving that one, and taking out the exit from that beach through some of the soft sand that was there, and then out onto the exit. And then the last of it's just some collection of some images put together from pictures from throughout the trips, from various beaches, some of the fish that we caught and so forth, from places we visited, that sort of thing. So this is the whiting, the pike. You see Willabinga and White Hills and Preston and so forth. But just want to thank our supporters from Patreon. Blake, this one actually is from the Oven. That's my car after I got out of a terrible mud bog. It was thoroughly enjoyable, so have a look through. That's Jasper Beach. Sorry, I wanted to quickly mention that. You can easily see some of the stuff there, and the Stepping Stone Beach, another great beach to fish at down Yeagerup way. But yeah, I wanted to, if you're liking this content, go through, have a look at the previous videos from our old trips and stuff like that. We've got heaps of ones there, and we've got a lot more planned for the new year. So if you like this sort of stuff, make sure you like and subscribe, and that way you can keep up to date with all the new stuff. So big thanks to our Patreon supporters, Blake. And if you're thinking of helping us out to continue to create content, feel free to look at the links in the description for both that and Facebook. And I look forward to seeing you on the next one, and thanks for listening.